Deep breath. Quieting the mind. Raise your vibration. Kill error thinking. Be calm on the inside. Open and relaxed. There is a frame of mind that is conducive to receiving and remembering the truth of A Course in Miracles. And that frame of mind is a peaceful mind, a meditative mind, a still mind that can listen to its own guidance. Remember, a peaceful mind cannot hear its own guidance. And we are here under a mantra for the year, an edict. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. We open our awareness and we remember that we are one with the one with all, one with love. We are sourced in love, and we are love. Breathing and remember the wholeness and the holiness that is the all, of which we swim in, we live in, the wholeness and the holiness of the all. Mind like water. Great Spirit, we now know that we are divine beings, magical, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipotent, as is our source. That there is no limit to what we can access. And we choose to access the all. For perfect health, for wonderful businesses, for peace in families, for peace among all humanity, for tranquility, serenity, for abundance, wealth, and the full expression of one's money and wealth creation powers, for happiness, not with trivial things, not momentary happiness, pure abiding happiness, for wonderful experiences all over the globe and beyond, for clear minds and happy hearts, for healthy bodies, youthfulness, vitality, strength, power, amazing relationships, amazing productions, bringing forth our events and retreats and books and healing programs and coaching programs and consulting programs and businesses and new ideas and apps and NFT projects and on and on. Our creativity knows no limits and no bounds. And we bring this all forward in the perfect pattern of love. Ashe. So mote it be. And we now give attention to A Course in Miracles, lesson 126, slowly opening the eyes, slowly. Being ever gentle with self. Wow, you woke up. You woke up. Wow. It's gotta get better from here. You woke up. It's gotta get better and better and more deliciouser and more juicier. Let's dive in. A Course in Miracles, lesson 126. All righty. All righty. We are ready. All that I give is given to myself. How delicious is that? All that we are giving is giving to ourselves. And ooh, wee baby, you want to make it love. Today's idea, completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world, is crucial to the thought reversal that this course will bring about. We must remember, we must know that all we give to self. It's an idea that's completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world. If you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness, certainty of goal, and sure direction. You would understand the means by which salvation comes to you and would not hesitate to use it now. You would be completely free if we remembered, family, that all we give to ourselves. It's another way of saying karma. It's another way of saying law of cause and effect. It's another way of saying what you reap, you sow. It's another way of saying that there is no other. What I dish out is who I am, and it's what I receive. Make it love. Remember, karma is not some scary thing coming to get you. You can't plant zucchini and get corn. You can't plant seeds of war and expect peace. It's our responsibility. And I saw Dave Chappelle get tackled. Couldn't believe it. And I said, oh, this is where we are now. Okay? My consciousness is not at peace. Peace to my mind. Let all my thoughts be still. Let us consider what you do believe in place of this idea. It seems to you that other people are apart from you. That's what we think. We think other people are apart from us, and that is not so. We are one and able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thoughts, not yours on theirs. We think that we are completely separate from other people, kind of siloed. They're over there doing something. I'm over here doing something. They're having their thoughts over there. I'm having my thoughts over here. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them. And their appeals for help are not in any way related to your own. This separation idea is so deadly because it makes us think that we are separate from the person in Russia or in Ukraine, that we are separate from the person in El Salvador or Zimbabwe, and we are not. You further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself. We think we can call other people sinful and not think ourselves such. While you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace, we believe that we can judge other people and still be at peace. How is that possible? How is that possible, family? When you forgive, quote unquote, a sin, quote unquote, we know there's no such thing as sin. There's self-inflicted nonsense. You are a perfect, whole, holy being. There's no gain to you directly when you perceive a sin. That's what we think. When we forgive a sin, we think, oh, we just let somebody off the hook. You give charity to one unworthy. They don't deserve my forgiveness. Merely to point out that you are better. Well, yes, but I'm spiritual, so I'm going to be on a higher plane than he whom you forgive. Yes, I'm spiritual now. And so now we have spiritual arrogance and pomposity and say, yeah, I'm going to forgive them because I'm good. He has not earned your charitable tolerance. They haven't earned it. They don't deserve it, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift, because his sins have lowered him beneath a true equality with you. We don't see people as equal. We don't see the rapist and the murderer as equals. Remember, people are not what they do. He has no claim on your forgiveness. That's what we believe. They sinned against me. They hurt me. They betrayed me. They attacked me. They don't get my forgiveness. I remember I was reading a book, and in the book, the author actually said, it was a political book, and it was very interesting. It was very telling of the political system and the ideologies that some people, this person held, I won't say all, that this person held. This person said that such and such did this, a public figure, and I'll never forgive him for that. We boldly proclaim, and we really think that that's a very good thing to say. We're not going to let them off the hook, because that's just too bad. What they did, it goes beyond my level of what I'll tolerate and allow. So they're just in jail forever. But remember, if you put somebody in jail, you got to be in jail with them to watch them. It holds out a gift to him, but hardly to yourself. So this fake forgiveness thing that we do, well, I'm going to forgive them because I know forgiveness is the right thing to do. From a superiority, they're not equal to me, because what they did, I would have never done. From this pomposity posture, is that really forgiveness? Is that peace? I've done it. It's kind of funny now when you really look at exactly what we're doing. Thus, is forgiveness basically unsound? It's unsound. It doesn't seem like a wise thing to do. A charitable whim. Okay, I'll forgive you. I don't really want to, because the hurt is deep and I still feel it. Benevolent yet undeserved. Yeah, it's good. I know it's a good thing to do. They don't deserve it. A gift bestowed at times and other times withheld. No, I'll forgive you, but no, I won't forgive you. Unmerited, without withholding it, is just. Well, they didn't do anything. They didn't even ask for forgiveness. They didn't even come and apologize to me. They didn't even come and tell me what they did and ask for my forgiveness. They didn't even apologize. They didn't even recognize what they did to me. Matter of fact, they're out partying right now while I'm suffering. You think I'm going to forgive that so that they can just do it again? No way. No way, Jose. Unmerited, withholding it is just, nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. I shouldn't suffer because I didn't forgive. I'm right. Remember, the ego loves to be right, loves to be right. The sin you forgive is not your own. You see, this is a big, great projection. We've projected some sin, some horror on someone else and make them the culprit, rather than saying, somehow, I really don't understand how my soul signed me up for this in this lifetime. And take 100% complete responsibility, not for the things that happened as a child. We don't know why these things happen. People have asked me over the years, Reverend Val, why did this happen to me? I was 3, I was a child. Beloved, I really don't know. I do know one thing, that as a 43-year-old woman, it's your job to clean up your consciousness. Your consciousness is your job. I do know that. I don't know why you encountered adult male penis at 3. I really don't. I don't have that answer. I don't have the answer to why you were molested by a family member. I don't have the answer to why you were attacked or stabbed. I don't know. I do know one thing. I do know that there is perfection in this universe. And I do know that all things are lessons God would have me learn. And I do know it wasn't inflicted by God. Yet I know that right here and right now, I've got to be the one to do something about it. At 60, am I going to stay in pain, or am I going to be in peace? I get a choice. All the things that were inflicted on this body temple, and there were a lot of things that were inflicted on the body temple, weren't there? Never touch the real you. The real you is untouchable. The real you is untouchable. The real you is untouchable. The real you is unassailable. The real you is invulnerable. The real you is perfect, holy, all knowing, all wise, all good. The real you is love. Can someone rape love? Can someone molest love? I am not belittling any of the horrors we have endured thus far on planet Earth. And maybe if you've been on planet Earth for decades, as I have, oh, a lot of things have occurred. And you gotta get to the point one day, beloved, where you say, the pain ends now. It's over. I will not continue to cry for the 3-year-old self. I will do my meditation, go within, and I will heal the 3-year-old self, and I will live a free life, regardless of all the horrors that were inflicted upon the body avatar, the stunt double. And in many times, because we didn't know how to process the information, we were in a very vulnerable space. Because we didn't know how to process the information, it got stuck and trapped somewhere in the pain body and created a pain body, got stuck in our energetic system. And now we get to clear it. That's what we get to do. And what is the process of clearing it? Forgiveness. Not giving someone else something they don't deserve. It's washing our own selves. That's all. It's getting in the bath and saying, yeah, that happened. I'm not going to deny it. And I'm not going to say it didn't stab in the moment. I do know that I must be free. That's all I know. I must be free because there's something in me that tells me that greatness is awaiting me, as well as magnificence, as well as the world does not need another wounded healer. The world needs people who know, sovereign beings who know, I'm healed and I can heal. I'm saved and I can save, not arrogantly, simply understanding the truth of our divine nature that we know we are far more than a body. At some point, no matter what happened, we ourselves, me, you, beloved, we must take complete responsibility for our own consciousness, clean it up and be happy. Clean it up and be at peace. Not do this fake forgiveness, this forgiveness fake out thing that we like to do. It's navel picking. It's masturbation without orgasm. How horrible would that be? Where are you getting from it? What's the point? Unmerited withholding it is just, nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. The sin that you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it. There goes that separation belief again. Someone over there did something to me. There goes that attack thing again. There goes that weakness thing again. And because all we think is, when we're in this whole paradigm, all we think is that we're a body. That is the limits of what you'll ever be, about a pile of flesh. And we know that's not true. And if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin. We appear to be giving gifts to people who don't deserve it. And we appear to be not getting anything from it. And we appear to still be suffering, even though they never apologized, but I'll forgive you anyway. If this be true, forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. If all the things that we think about forgiveness are true, it really is not good for us. It is an eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give indulgently an undeserved reprieve. Oh, I forgive you, but tomorrow I'm going to bring it up again and smear it in your face. And when I look at couples sometimes, and I've done this, and I look at couples that are, over the years, I've gotten to coach a lot of different people, and it's so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. And one of the things that I've noticed with couples is couples like to keep a reserve axe to grind, each of them. And on the axe is written some of the things that are the most grievous thing that the other person has done. And every so often you get out your little stone and you just grind that axe. Well, you did such and such in 1982. Yeah, well, you did such and such in 1981. Why? So we said that we forgive. Yes, 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 I forgive you, I forgive you. Well, if it's still written on my axe and I'm still grinding my axe, then it was an undeserved reprieve. It wasn't a war is over. It wasn't the war's over. It was a ceasefire for a few minutes so we could have some sex and we could be happy, make up sex or whatever, and go to dinner and have a nice dinner. And it wasn't real. We didn't really let it go. Yet it remains your right to let the sinner not escape the justified repayment for his sins, for his sin. In this experience, we think we have the right to not let people off the hook. Think you, the Lord of heaven, would allow the world's salvation to depend on this? Do we really think that this whole fabulous, amazing universe would create something like that? It seems wonky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Would not his care for you be small indeed if your salvation rested on a whim? If all of the world being at peace and at oneness and in unity and in beauty and harmony, if that's what the Course calls salvation, right? Coming home to the quantum field in remembrance of who we really are. If that's what oneness for the whole world rested on, we're in trouble. Because maybe you do it and maybe you don't. It's fickle. There's nothing that you can base anything on. There's no foundation. You do not understand forgiveness. The Course says, you do not understand forgiveness, beloved. As you see it, it is but a check upon overt attack without requiring correction in your mind. Wow. Wow. For us, it's a check that you did something. You attacked me. It's an overt attack because now I have to forgive it. It's something really bad that happened. So I'm checking, this something really bad happened without requiring correction in your mind. This is the aim of the Course, for us to voluntarily say, I am going to correct my mind. Isn't that profound? It cannot give you peace as you perceive it. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. We see something in other people, but we can't see it in self, and we can't see it in self. It has no power to restore your unity with him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. God didn't intend for us to be in prison. This vast universe of life doesn't want us to suffer. The universe wants you to be as happy as that dolphin pack. I don't know what you call a group of dolphins. Those dolphins that are right now jumping out of the sea and back down, doing nose dives into the sea, happy as larks. The universe wants you to be as happy as that mango that is plump and delicious and is about to fall to the earth, hoping someone will enjoy its nectar. The universe wants you to be as happy as that rose that's blossoming open right now, not thinking of anything other than blooming, baby, blooming. That's how happy the universe wants you to be. The key is, do we want to be that happy? That's the question. And we have found that people kind of tolerate varying levels of happiness. We won't let ourselves all the way be free. That ends. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It has no power to restore your unity with him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. What we know is that true forgiveness restores unity. Not having given him the gift he asks of you, you cannot recognize his gifts and think he has not given them to you. We are not giving. Forgiving is to give for, to give for my anger. I'm going to give love to myself for my anger. Forgiveness doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. Forgiveness is my own bath for myself to keep myself pristine. Forgiveness is I'm not going to dig into the past. Forgiveness is I'm not going to put a check on, I was weak in that moment and someone took advantage of me, and think myself weak. No. If I'm giving for, I give up my wound for peace. I give my hurts for love. I give to whom? The universe. To whatever you want to make it up, whoever you want to give it to. Just give it up. We can't recognize the gifts because we didn't give the gifts. Remember, to give and to receive are one. Yet would he ask you for a gift unless it was for you? That is a monumental question. Would God ask a gift of you that wasn't for you? I want to run around this room right now. I want to run around this room right now. That when you give a gift in God's paradigm, in the paradigm of love, you receive the gift. Well, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm having a conniption. When you would God ask a gift of you unless it was for you? Mind blowing. We thought it was for someone else. We thought we were giving, I'll give it to them. I don't want to. I'll give it to her, but I don't want to. I give it to them. I don't feel like it. How could you give a gift? How could this universe ask you to give a gift? Simply give it up, give for. How could it ask you to give a gift that wasn't for you? Could he be satisfied with empty gestures and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of his son? A petty gift is not worthy of you. Salvation is a better gift than this, and true forgiveness as the means by which it is attained. That's the means that we have. That's the ladder to come out of woundedness. It's a ladder to come out of old hurts. It's a ladder to come out of hatred, bickering. It's a ladder to come out of wanting to kill people and trying to figure out where you're going to hide the body. It's a ladder for you to give up all your mental daggers and all the mental daggers we have going around like Chucky or something. But on the outside, we're smiling. How are you? I'm wonderful. That's love and light. Oh, you seem a little, are you okay? I'm fine. When you hear, I'm fine, wow, run. That person is definitely not fine. But this is what we do. The salvation is a better gift than this. And true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives. Forgiving is receiving. If when I forgive, I'm healing my own mind. It's a give I give to myself. There is no other. What remains as unreceived has not been given, but what has been given must have been received. If I give forgiveness to myself, it has to be received, given, receive the same. Today, we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. And you know this to be true because when my youngest daughter, my 21-year-old, when she turned 21, we took her on a surprise trip to Vegas, right? And wow, I thought I was giving her a gift. And wow, how full I was to see her having a time of her life with her big sister. They went to the club. The 31-year-old and the 21-year-old, they went to the club because I don't drop it like it's hot in the club no more. That's not what I do anymore. But oh, have I dropped it many times in the club, okay? And so, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And I saw them all dressed up going to the club. I felt the joy. We went to Dubai, and we're here. I get to lead these incredible retreats all over the world in these glorious destinations. I think I'm giving something, and I'm filling. I'm overflowing. How does that happen? You think you're giving something when you have a kid, and that little kid wants a bike, and you just do everything you can to find this particular bike. It's sold out in all these stores. You're running all across town. Why are you doing that? Love is compelling you to do that because you're just thinking of their cute little face when they see this bike, and then you finally get the bike, and it's under the dark of night, and you're trying to sneak the bike in, and you're trying to wrap the bike with a big bow, and you're trying to fit it into the closet while the kid is asleep with the little cookies for Santa Claus and the milk on the table, and you're just thinking, wait till they wake up in the morning and see this bike. You feel so good. You know giving and receiving are the same because you did it many times. Every time you sought to put a smile on the face of someone you loved, you knew in that moment, you knew giving and receiving was the same because you was receiving everything you were giving and nothing less. And you were no worse for the wear. You were not losing anything. No matter how much money you paid for the gift, you didn't lose a thing. Why are people right now going to the diamond store to, to look at those commercials, those diamond commercials? Put a smile on her face. A diamond is forever. Why are the people in the diamond store right now? Because they're thinking of putting a smile on the face. Maybe some of them are thinking about getting out of the doghouse. Nevertheless, there's something that's causing us to want to give. And that thing that causes us to want to give, I call it love, cosmic love. It causes us. There's something that drives me to want to give every morning. I call it cosmic love. It's not of the personality or the ego, it is life itself causing us to want to give our gifts. Well, we know that as we're giving the gifts, we're receiving something. We know it. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. You know, what we were growing up with and what we thought was forgiveness and our whole idea of sin. These things, they're so alien to what the Course is teaching, but the help you need is there. Give him your faith today. Give the universe your faith today and ask him that he share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory for the world. If you only get a tiny glimpse that, wow, maybe there is no separation. Maybe I'm not a victim. Maybe the wound that I've fostered and protected in some kind of righteous indignation, you know how we make them pets? And then we join circles and we talk about it. And we talk about it when we go to a party to a perfect stranger. Yes, I have LBMS. What's that? I don't know. It's the latest acronym they came up with. You don't have that. Stop claiming it as a badge of honor and telling people at parties what's wrong with you. You just met them. How about, hey, nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with you. How you love it? Let's have a drink. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being perfect and happy? You wouldn't know what to do if you didn't have your petty wounds. You wouldn't know what to do if you wasn't carrying that big suitcase of luggage and baggage behind you. Wouldn't know what to do with your hands because you just invested so much. That was me. I had invested so much in carrying around this baggage. I would show it to people. Guess what they did to me? Can you believe it? And I wanted them to be just as indignant about it as me. And some of them were not. Some of them were looking at me like, are you okay? Is this really what you want to be doing with yourself? I mean, no judgment in it. If you're getting fun out of it, you're getting something out of it. One day, you will not get anything out of carrying around your bag of initials. I have HHD, I don't know, what is that they call that thing? ADHD. And when people say it, they say it with certainty. Yeah, because I have ADHD. Do you know that wasn't made up by doctors? That was made up by a marketing department at a pharmaceutical company. You ain't got that. I have SAD, seasonal affective disorder. No, you don't. Go out in the sun. Stop it. Stop it. What are we doing? And we accept it. And then tell people we have it. Don't tell people you are anything other than perfection. Just glide in the room being perfection. Try it out like a pair of shoes. And throw away them old loafers with holes in them. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. Whew. Give him your faith today and ask him that he share your practicing in truth today. And we're going to catch that tiny glimpse of release. Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt to understand today's idea. Today we're going to understand, and we're going to attempt to understand even more, that all I give is given to myself. It is a thought by which forgiveness takes its proper place in your priorities. It is the thought that will release your mind from every bar to what forgiveness means and let you realize its worth to you. We can realize the worth that forgiveness has to us because we can understand the true gift forgiveness is. Just cleaning up. It's just cleaning up. You know, Dr. Hugh Lynn Haleakala, who has now ascended in his beautiful spirit form, and now he can be with all of us because he left a body where he had to be local with this person, local to that person. Now he can be with all of us. Dr. Hugh Lynn Haleakala just called it cleaning, ho'oponopono, an ancient Hawaiian healing modality. It's the same thing the Course is asking. If you want to, it's all voluntary. It's just, I love you. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Thank you. That's it. He called it cleaning. Oh, I need to clean. When he met up with something that was not perfect peace and perfect joy and perfect love, he said, oh, I need to clean on this. And he would just start cleaning himself, cleaning himself. He wouldn't even have to say it out loud. He would just do it inside his mind. And then the things that he was cleaning, what was he cleaning? He was cleaning his own mind until his mind was completely clean. And then he lifted off the planet in silence. Close your eyes upon the world that does not understand forgiveness. The world doesn't understand forgiveness, and seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs laid by. There's a quiet place inside of your mind where the correction happens in your mind, where thoughts that are not the thoughts of love are corrected, and where false beliefs, we just lay them aside. We just don't believe them anymore. Repeat today's idea and ask for help in understanding what it really means. Be willing to be taught. Be willing. There's that word again. We've heard it about 20,000 times in 126 days. Woohoo! Are you willing? I'm willing. It's like an adventure. Be glad to hear the voice of truth and healing speak to you. As you close your eyes and turn within, you will see that you are the perfect expression of a perfect universe, and that inside, the voice for truth is telling you the truth about yourself. Yes, you're an immortal being. You've been here forever, since before the beginning of time. The voice of truth is telling you you're so much more than a human. The voice of truth is telling you you're not separate from all the other beings. And you will understand the words he speaks and recognize he speaks your words to you. He, she, they, the universe, love, is speaking the truth to you as often as you can. As often as you can. Remind yourself you have a goal today. Okay, so the last 2 days, 4 days ago, we spent 2 days on thankfulness. Our theme for the day was thankfulness. Yesterday, we were determined. We had a goal. Each day we have a goal. A goal is just one simple idea. Yesterday, our goal was just to let me remember I'm one with God. Was that in quiet, I received God's word today. We were still in the mind. That's what we were doing. We were still in the mind yesterday. To me, they're pretty much the same, because when I'm still and I listen to the voice for God, that's what I remember. I remember I'm one with God. So we were in stillness and quiet yesterday. Today, here's our goal, that we're going to prove that we're not separate from other people. Today, we have a goal, an aim, which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers and sisters and sisters, brothers, and others. This goal is very valuable to you and everyone else. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long, but tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now. And I will trust in him. I will trust in it. I will trust in this universe. And spend a quiet moment opening your mind to his correction and his love, opening your mind to the correction of the universe and the love of the universe. And what you hear of him, you will believe, for what he gives will be received by you. Our 15-minute meditation is going to be left to you to do today at the most appropriate time in solitude. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. If you're giving joy, you're giving joy to yourself. If you're giving love, you're giving love to yourself. If you're giving beauty, you're giving beauty, you're receiving beauty. That's, of course, Miracles Lesson 126. Floor is open.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
What a powerful lesson. And, incorporating karma and forgiveness in such a way. I think each day the lessons connect, but they allow us to go a little deeper inside. And as you saying, we're clearing out our consciousness. We're clearing out all the places where we've been stuck, all the places where we've been on repeat, year after year after year after year. And once again, we have such a powerful tool to move us. Well, let me say, I see it as such a powerful tool to move me further, to have me go deeper inside. Just as we learn that giving and receiving are one, and we look and we know that, you know, those things that come before us, we look inside and, you know, to see what the lesson is in those things. You know, we now have the tool to say, you know, as we go out, because we go out to be the light of the world, we go out to spread the peace, to spread the love, but we also receive the joy in doing this each day as we share with others, as we bring it forth. I'm just in awe at just weaving it all together to see it operate and work in my life. I am complete.
Yummy.
Good morning, Arlene.
Good morning. Okay, so this particular lesson and what you had to share, it kind of hit me on several fronts. So I'm still in that place of processing. But there were two experiences that came up for me, especially the one with giving. And a lot of times I just, in another spiritual community, I actually do contests or just simply give statues that of certain deities that promote prosperity and wealth. And I think the last set that I did, the contest that I created for the giveaway, it was easy for a person to be in a place of actually getting at least one answer right. And all of their names were entered into a jar, then you pulled it out. Well, at one point, and I guess you could say the bonus question was to figure out what object was under cups and which objects had objects under it. And if you could, the bonus question is if you could guess what the object was under the cup. Well, the person whose name that got pulled had literally put her name in under every cup, or she guessed like everyone. So there was no way that she was going to miss. And I guess when her name got pulled, because my mother-in-law pulls the names, but when her name got pulled, I was feeling some kind of way because I knew what she did. But I had a very humbling experience with that, because what ended up happening was after we pulled the names, we pulled names 2 more times, and her name came up those other 2 times. And I just, I found myself in a place of saying, okay, I submit. Obviously, because I've always put forward that the divine is guiding this process regardless of whatever the outcome was. But I put a judgment on it, because when King said something about the person who actually guessed what the object was under the cup, or the shape of the object under the cup, I guess I was feeling, well, she is far more deserving this person than this person that had all of these answers under, but there was no way that she was going to lose. But the divine, or the one, the all, said it's her. Because I went ahead and humbled myself and just like, okay, well, this is what is being asked of me, and I said that I was going to do it and I'm going to complete it. Well, what I will say was that it took me a long time to actually get it to her because she was actually in Grenada. And the statues themselves, the shipping on it was just like, it was just really, it was higher than I expected it to be. And so I think that if I was to ask myself what was the gift that I received from that experience, was that the understanding that the divine was leading the process, that, that it gave me an opportunity to heal on my judgment so that I can be better, and not only judgment with other people, but judgment of myself, because that seems to be an ongoing thing that I'm working on currently right now. And also, I know that I have continued to be blessed with gifts from unexpected sources because of this practice. And I really don't pay attention too much about how those gifts come to me, but I always know that I'm in that place of being blessed by, whenever I participate in this activity, because it's bringing more light into the world, and that's what I'm here for anyway. And then the next thing that I found interesting that you brought up, Ho'oponopono. So yesterday I did my premiere broadcast on a podcast for the Power of Tranquility with my new brand. So
wait a minute. What you were talking about at the Wealthy Goddess Retreat in Miami, you brought it forth?
Yeah, I'm still, quietly working on all of the components now. I've had to sort of step back and say, okay, well, what is it that I need to work on? So like yesterday when you all were talking about, I think it was talking about, having your following. Well, I need to build that up a little bit more. I have a little bit of a following, but I need a definite upgrade in that. So I bought a book about how to get that would help to build that. But I guess you could say that in terms of the broadcast on Blog Talk Radio, that was something that I had pulled back from Blog Talk Radio because I really needed to sit down and regroup and figure out where I needed to go, because I had a great deal of confusion with that. But yes, I've moved forward with the Power of Tranquility.
Love it. Delicious.
Yeah. So when I was on the show yesterday, I went ahead and I did the show, and as I ended the show, somebody came in and raised up. They came in and they raised up their hands, and I'm like, well, shoot, the show's over. She's late, but I was like, well, she's here. Let me, her hands raised, or the person's hands raised. Let me just go ahead and bring her into the green room. So I go into the green room, and she was telling me that she was feeling extremely triggered, and she was telling me about her health issues and things that were really going on in her experience. And she was like, and I've been doing Ho'oponopono, and, and I was like, well, thought that I really had was that in the show I was talking about meditation, and then she tells me the reason why she can't do meditation. I was like, well, okay, she knows that better than I do. Let me just continue listening to her. So after she gets through with everything, I asked her, I was like, well, so how long have you been doing this particular spiritual process? And she's like, I've only been doing it a month and a half.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, well, there we have it.
Mm.
And then I shared with her, I was like, it's just my observation, that whenever you start a particular spiritual practice, it's just going to bring stuff up. It's just going to bring stuff up.
Yes.
You will be in a place where everything feels sort of calm and copacetic and what have you. And then it's like peeling the layer of an onion. As you keep peeling, there will be things that come up, things that are triggered. And every time those things come up and you feel like you're triggered or anything, it's looking for an opportunity for you to really look at it and heal.
Yes.
So when you are in your practice, and those things come up, and I was like, and with you catching COVID and everything, I was like, one of the things that I had observed about that experience is that the body is like, okay, you need to rest. You need to pay attention to the body, just be easy with yourself. Don't force yourself or anything. But I just found it interesting that here we have this synchronicity and this example of oneness with you even bringing it up here in Course Miracles. So I do thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have the floor and for the ability to share with you all. I'm complete.
Always an amazing share and wisdom from our link ahead, that's for sure.
Good morning, Rainbow Warrior. How are you?
Namaste, Faye. All the better for hearing you. Glad you're back over your way. Jammy bugger, by the way. Eagle sitting on your head. That must have been magically magical.
Why do I just burst into a big ball of joy every time I hear Rainbow speaking?
Because we only recognize that which we already possess. And when you become bold, same as me, that's your gold, your soul, you see, helping all these souls learn how to grow. And when you were talking about getting yourself a diamond or giving it to somebody else, biggest problem I can see these days, folk don't invest in themselves. They go seeking instead of feeling. And then comes the revealing. The things that they're seeking in terms of helping them in the spirituality way. I mean, me, I'm more sort of psychology. So I deal with old facts, basically. And it's magic for me to see a soul get reconnected in a beautiful way because they just glow beautifully. And then they can start to see outside old paradigms how to allow their souls to flow. It's magical, really.
What is forgiveness, Rainbow?
Forgiveness for me was to allow my own self to heal, basically. We all have somebody that's upset us one time and another, but when we get to a point, when I got reconnected, I could see everything was a reflection of that disconnection, and everything was guiding me exactly where I wanted to be before I even knew it, literally. Or forgiveness. If you don't use forgiveness, you're holding onto a big chain attached to an anchor. You're not allowing yourself to grow in a natural way because you're living in the old woes of past days.
When I really learned that forgiveness wasn't for somebody else, it was for me to set myself free. That was probably one of the most liberating things I've ever learned in my life. It's liberating.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Maybe not as well as you, but yeah, completely and categorically. That's what I mean about the anchor and the chain. When we just continually hold on to past woes, feeling that somebody's let us down in a big way, we're not experiencing the golden moments of today, obviously. So we're missing all the gold, the synchronicities coming in beautifully and naturally as they're supposed to. As I keep saying, thinking mind just makes us blind to such things. And that's why I created the reconnection flow, because everybody was missing all the bags of sugar in the cupboard, basically.
And you know, it's really fascinating that we're seeing it play out on stage. The universe is bringing it in, going to something that Arlene shared, that when you start doing these spiritual practices and we start ascending, some of the stuff comes up, right? The lady started doing the whole Ho'oponopono, which was so beautiful, to clear herself. And she said, it's getting worse. It's not getting better, because first it gets worse because the stuff is coming up and out, and then it's way better. And we're seeing it play out on stage, family. Did you see on stage yet another attack? Someone jumped up out of the audience and tackled Dave Chappelle. I couldn't believe it. I said, okay, universe. Now the Will Smith slap, the Will Smith, Chris Rock debacle, now this, and then a whole fight breaks out. And that dude, they handled it. They got him. They handled it. What is happening on stage now? Spirit is bringing this to the stage. Spirit is showing us the depths of our rage. It's on stage. We're looking at it on stage. Like, what's happening right now?
May I answer that question? Just a little bit of the insight I have been receiving to all of the treachery of social media on many topics. Good morning. You're absolutely right, Mother Kaisi. There's a lot. I have a saying, but everybody's heard of smoke and mirrors. Now, there's certain things that are staged, which I don't think any of what Mother Kaisi just mentioned was staged, but by human form anyway. But God is setting the stage. He is setting the stage for us to do what our beloved angel on this planet we had at one point, Michael Jackson said, man in the mirror. Because there's another thing going on of a brother named Kevin Samuels, and a rumor of his passing. And looking at, people's joy in someone's alleged passing, it's kind of disturbing. Me personally, I didn't agree a lot with what he said, but one thing I was taught, you never rejoice in the wonderful, blessed work God has put the death angel here to do. You give respect. So there is a stage being set, but for us to look at ourselves, and since we can't do that naturally, not all of us, we have to look at other people and say, well, dang, why am I happy, or why am I so upset about what people are saying, or the actions that people are doing? Well, let's look at how does that apply to us? How do we somehow create that same type of energy for ourselves, our families, or people around us, just a collective as humanity? Because as we all know, energy travels. And it's a stage set up by God. Preparing for something I don't know. I'm not God. But it's for us to look at ourselves, no matter how sanctified we feel we are, no matter how many prayers we think we do, no matter how much charity we think we do, no matter how much, or even how gladfully ratchet we are. We like Mother Kaisi said, we are not what we do.
Yes.
And that's what we need to realize. We are not what we do. We have to get out of even how we think. We are not how we think. God is trying to get us to our godly selves, because we are all gods. And we got to get to that point, because the war in the sky, which is the war on our own brains, our own minds, is upon us. And just with thought, we can destroy or uplift or heal all of humanity.
Yes.
So we can get to the work of God, whatever it is for us individually. And there is a work that he has us all here to do as a whole. Is an urgency that is now being put upon us to look at ourselves so we can work on ourselves, healing on ourselves, etc. And there's another thing too, when you I can't verbatim repeat what you have read earlier, Mother Kaisi, but forgiveness. I've been through some things too. And I remember one time when we used to have other calls, if you don't write a book, to about all of us who was in those calls, you don't write that book within 24 hours, you out of the I have wrote my book.
That sounds like something I would say.
But it worked. I wrote my book on my life experience. It was funny, but God told me, I ain't ready to release yet. But let me tell you, my daughter got a hold, being nosy. She read it, and it inspired her years later. She wrote a book. She wrote a book of poems about being free to express your feelings. And she was mainly targeting, everybody, but she was really hoping to target the youth and people of her age, because she's 22. And to really don't be ashamed and really freely express. And it's okay to feel how you feel. Other ways of looking at oneself, or even how you're feeling and what's not. So she wrote a book, and she self-published her book. And so my whole reason why I'm saying that is because forgiveness, for me, my experience, because I forgave my tormentors a long time ago, because my whole thing was, look, they ain't paying my bills, they ain't gonna stand with me when God come. I got to keep it pushing and completely keep it pushing. So I completely and wholeheartedly, me personally, forgave, the individuals. But that also, with that energy I carried on, that also, for all of us, anything we do, if we have children, even if they're not our biological children, we have children surrounding us that we constantly deal with, and they love us and attach to us. That forgiveness, that gift, will transfer on to the children. And they will create such a wonderful thing, either if it's in their behaviors, how they're carrying themselves, or like my daughter did a book that will continue on what I call a legacy of giving and helping. Because we all leave legacies, whether we accept it or not, or we're consciously created them or not, we all leave legacies on our name once we pass. Why not, as God is setting the stage of all of this madness, this complete madness, okay? I mean, really, this gentleman didn't think that he ain't have that Dave Chappelle, we all saw his show. He don't come strapped with a bunch of dudes that tear a new one into a vehicle. This man was figuring, from what he said, let me get up there and get my butt whipped so I can get famous off my rap albums. I just couldn't get any eyes on. Really, the madness of people.
You're right about that, because he certainly is famous now.
I'm not judging. I mean, do what you feel you have the capability to. That's another thing.
He's famous.
God wants us to fully recognize our wonderful potential of doing things on a higher vibration.
Yes.
Even if you want to sell dope on the street, there's a better way to do it. I'm just saying, no judgment.
Right.
There's a better way of doing it. We have to look at ourselves, and observe everything that we come across, whether we consciously look for it or not. If it comes across you, that is something for us to observe within ourselves. So yes, the God is setting the stage for us to improve ourselves in a very timely manner, my opinion. I am done. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Ashe. YouTube, we're going to close up our live
Took
stream.
the words right out of my mouth as well, Faye. Amazingly amazing, obviously. And I've been saying for a wee while now, the more we let go and allow our souls to flow, that's when we all begin to flow. Our souls, I mean. When we're no longer living in fear, remembering the soul's more powerful than a spear. And then you'll become your own seer, that you're here to be somebody unique. I put it down in the messages not so long ago. The source energy, God, Allah, whatever you want to call it, the thing that moves the planets, that created everything, made sure what this reality needed was you see. And everything has reason.
Delicious. Delicious. Love you, Facebook. I mean, Facebook and YouTube. Love you. Peace. Good morning.
I love this lesson.